Hola amigos y amigas, you are now with Jocelyn, and this is a weekly energy reading for the week to come. It is intended to be affirmational, to make you feel confident stepping into this week, and just kind of having an overall awareness and understanding of what the energy may feel like and how you can best align with your higher self. I actually did this reading last night and I started recording, but then ended up having technical difficulties. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna leave the cards laid out and do this reading in the morning. So here we are. I am grateful that you're here. And I hope that for those of you that do stick around to watch this reading, feel some resonance and deeper understanding about what you may be feeling. So I am going to light this delicious incense. We're gonna get started. I feel like I already know what the reading is about, but yesterday when I was unfolding the reading and receiving the messages, I was so curious as to how this reading was going to be, because I feel like last week was such a momentous week with the spring equinox, and then today, Sunday, we have the Libra full moon, and I feel like a lot is coming to the surface, a lot is resurfacing for us to revisit the things that perhaps we may have been healing from, for us to really honor the lessons and apply the lessons that we have been learning, for us to take note of this new self that is emerging for so many of us. So let me share what this reading is for this week to come. The overall energy, we got the wise one, which is to grow within your current situation. And then we also got the moon card, which it shows up actually in quite a few of these cards, which I felt like is so beautiful. But to take note of intuitive messages. And really what these intuitive messages are going to be are these lessons that you've learned, the lessons that you've gained in the past 6 or so months. And making sure that you apply those lessons. So if your lesson was boundaries, perhaps this week, you're gonna get to practice that. And to grow within your current situation is to be mindful that wherever it is that you are, you have an opportunity to grow. So ask yourself at any given moment, especially in difficult ones, how can I grow from this? What lessons are trying to make themselves known to me in this situation, in this environment? And that is tapping into the wiseness in yourself, into the wise one that exists within you. And again, intuition, strengthen your intuition. It's so important to do that as we continue to evolve this year. And a few ways that you can strengthen your intuition, that you can deepen your intuition, is listening to your body. It's feeling your emotions, because your body and your emotions are always communicating with you. That is essentially your intuition's way of communicating with you. So let's continue to go into this reading. When I asked, should any challenges or obstacles arise this week, what energy should we align with? So we got healing chaos and solitude. And, something that really came up for me in this reading is overthinking. And chaos So what came up is overthinking as well as transition. Like this week really being a period of transition. And for both of those things, for overthinking and for transition, sometimes they can feel chaotic, right? A lot of the times, what we perceive as chaos are things simply still being in the midst of unfolding. Transformation or transformative moments can feel chaotic because they're unstable. So just be mindful of that. You know, when you feel like something is chaotic, is it really? Or is it simply something that hasn't completed its transformation yet? And, you know, everything happens divinely and everything happens on purpose. So I feel like these two cards, healing chaos and solitude, are reminding us that we have the tools and we have the understanding and we have the knowing and we have the resources to approach any challenge this week or any week to come with so many healing tools and modalities and resources. Whatever it is that has helped you heal and cope in the past 6 months, tap into those things. The things that you realize, like, oh, this makes me feel better, this makes me feel good. Remember those this week. And I feel like so many of us have experienced so much solitude in the past year. And for those of us that allowed ourselves to lean into that solitude, have realized how healing the solitude actually is and how much we needed it and how much we actually gained from it. And as, you know, the world continues to shift and solitude may not be as transparent or present, let us not forget how healing the solitude actually was, and to use that as a healing modality, as a resource to tap into should we ever feel like there is chaos. But there is still like a lot of healing taking place, especially with this Libra full moon. We're gonna be receiving a lot of messages, and we're gonna be aligning with experiences and opportunities where we can really tap into our higher selves and apply what it is that we've learned again. So when I asked what it is that we need to focus on healing this week, we got slow and steady, past, present, and future, as well as movement into balance. And this is why I feel like chaos, solitude, and transition have come up in this reading because we're in this transitional period. And a lot of the times when we're in midst of transformation or transition, we're thinking about the past, we're thinking about what we're leaving behind, we're also thinking about where we're currently at and how chaotic it may feel, or uncertain or unstable. And we're also thinking about the future, where it is that we're transitioning into, where it is that we're headed. And remember that slow and steady honestly does win the race. And I feel like a lot of us fear slowness because we feel like we're going to be left behind. But I mean, observe nature. Is nature in a hurry? Does nature rush? No, it takes its sweet time, and so much beauty comes out of it. And that's one reason why I just love being in nature, because it just reminds me of that slow and steady pace. And it's just beautiful to see how nature has so much faith in itself and its evolution that it just is, you know, it's in the present moment, and it trusts that, you know, when winter comes around and it has to completely shed itself, it trusts that it is going to bloom again in the spring. And we are in spring now. So we are in this like blooming season. Us human beings are in alignment with nature and with nature's seasons. So keep that in mind, that a lot of what this transition or chaos may be feeling is simply you starting to emerge from the ground and becoming vulnerable, because like you were underground and now you've sprouted into this new space, and it can feel vulnerable and it can feel very new, and like you're still figuring it out and you're just like, oh, what is this? So just know that it is all moving into balance. Things are simply balancing itself out, and you have responsibility as well to contribute to shifting yourself into that balance by going into solitude, by making sure that you are tapping into this wiseness that exists within you and asking yourself, how can I grow within this current situation and continue to flow and not be stagnant, and continue to grow, you know? And all of that said, when it comes to what it is that we need to surrender, we got surrender to effortlessness. Stop pushing so hard. The art of living means going with the flow instead of trying to force the river. Again, do not rush. If you feel like you have been rushing, if you feel like if you don't hurry up, you're going to miss out, that is not true. That is not true. And surrender the idea that you can fix someone. I think this card came up either in the last reading or the reading before, and I feel like a lot of people are currently experiencing this challenge of reminding ourselves that it is not our responsibility to heal someone else. It is not our responsibility to fix anyone. Our healing is our own responsibility, and we don't have control over other people, nor should we desire to have control over other people. We only have control over the way that we respond to life and the way that we respond to situations. So it's time for a relationship to shift in your life. It doesn't work to try to fix someone. Each person must be accountable for his or her own healing. So keep that in mind. If you know, this Libra full moon did really highlight the relationships in our lives. So if there's someone in your life that you even feel like you need to fix, that's something to dig a little deeper into. Because all healthy relationships, if you really want a healthy relationship in your life, it is the acceptance of who and how they are in this present moment. So keep that in mind. And then for our affirmations, we got, I am at peace. Divine peace and harmony surround me and dwell in me. I feel tolerance, compassion, and love for all people, myself included. I am peace. I am at peace. And I am peace. And we also got, it's only a thought, and a thought can be changed. So when this came up, I was like, yeah, there's definitely overthinking going on in the collective. I think it is because there is still this uncertainty of what it is that we're transitioning into, of this feeling of like something is around the corner, but we're not exactly sure what. And it's important to remember that we're always in transition, you know? We're always transforming, we're always evolving, and it's just a matter of trying to remain as present as possible so that we're not being held back from the past, and we're also not too attached to the future. And controlling our thoughts as much as possible, because again, We only have control over ourselves and how we respond to things. And one thing that we do have control over is our thoughts. And for so many of us, we don't have control over that. Our thoughts have control over us, which is why we do remain stuck in the past, which is why we do fixate over the future. I have this post-it note on my wall that says, the best way to prepare for the future is to remain in the present moment, something like that. And I love it because it is so true. But I am not limited by any past thinking. I choose my thoughts with care. I constantly have new insights and new ways of looking at my world. I'm willing to change and grow. So yeah, there's a lot of still like change going on, a lot of growth. And just keep, reminding yourself, like, what would my higher self do in this situation? How would my higher self respond? When you think of your ideal self, when you think of your higher self, how do they show up in the world? How do they respond? What kind of energy do they emit? It's a really divine week. I mean, every week is really divine, but I don't know. It just, yeah. Ever since the Great Conjunction in the end of December, where this like easier access to higher frequencies that we all have, I'm not going to get completely into that, but it's something that I keep reminding myself of, is like we're all being physically impacted by these universal shifts and transits, and it really, essentially, we're all going through an upgrade. And the past 6 or so months have really been like a maturing process into this becoming, into this ascension. And what's going to benefit you the most is allowing yourself to continue to heal, is investing in your healing, is continuing to simply focus on yourself, what you have control over, and trying to master your thoughts, trying to master really being in the present moment, and tapping into your intuition, strengthening your intuition. Take care of yourself. And remember just how healing solitude really is. And understand that everything is simply coming into balance. Things are being balanced out in your life. And even though things may feel chaotic, it doesn't mean that that's necessarily true. It's just that a lot of the times what we think is chaotic is simply something that is still stabilizing itself. So yeah, that is the week that we have. I feel like this is a really beautiful reading, and I hope that it resonated with you, either some of the cards or all of the cards. And I am going to put timestamps in the description below so that if you want to refer back to this reading at any point this week, you can do so with ease. And I will see you in my next video, hopefully. So share this reading with anyone that you feel may benefit from it. And also, I would love to hear what it is that you may have related to. If you did, if anything resonated with you, let me know in the comments below so that we can interact with each other and exchange more energy. But I'm so grateful for your presence in this video on my channel, and I am wishing you a very blessed, healing, awakening week ahead. Bye.